Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're working with Python, you are constantly dealing with collections of data. So today, we're going to tackle a really fundamental question that every single developer runs into. When do you use a list, and when should you reach for a tuple? Let's get this cleared up for good.
You know, you've seen them everywhere in Python code, right? The square brackets for lists and the parentheses for tuples. And at a glance, they might seem pretty similar, but their core difference is an absolute game changer for how you should write your programs. The choice isn't just about what looks right. It's about declaring your intention for the data inside.
Okay, let's get right to the heart of it. If there is one word you remember from this whole explainer, it has to be this one: mutability. This single concept is the great dividing line between lists and tuples. It dictates literally everything about how they behave.
So what does mutable even mean? Well, at its core, it's actually super simple. It just means something is changeable. Think of it like a whiteboard. You can write something on it, you can erase parts of it, you can add something new. The object itself can be altered long after you've created it.
And Python lists? They are the absolute poster child for a mutable object. You can see here, we create a list, and then we can just reach right in and modify an element, no problem at all. This kind of flexibility makes lists perfect for dynamic collections, like, say, a shopping cart, where you're going to be adding and removing items all the time.
All right, so what's the flip side of that coin? Immutable. And it means the exact opposite. Once you create an immutable object, it is set in stone, it's locked in, it's permanent, and it is unchangeable for its entire life. And this, right here, is the very soul of a Python tuple. Once you define it, its contents are fixed. If you even try to change an element, Python's going to stop you in your tracks with an error. Now, this isn't a bug. It's a critical feature that guarantees the integrity of your data. This is perfect for things you never want to change by accident, like a set of GPS coordinates or maybe the specific RGB values for a color. Okay, so now that we've got that core principle down, let's take a closer look inside the Python list and see exactly why its mutability makes it such a wonderfully flexible container. So a list has a few key properties that make it tick. First, it's ordered, which means your items stay in the exact position you put them in. We've already established that it's mutable, or changeable. It's also heterogeneous, which is a fancy way of saying you can mix and match data types, integers, strings, whatever you want. And finally, it's dynamic. It can grow and shrink as you need it to. Now, all this flexibility is incredibly powerful, but it does come with a tiny bit of overhead in memory and performance. Okay, so what about tuples then? If they're unchangeable, does that make them kind of limited? Not at all. In fact, their constancy is their greatest strength. But what can you actually do with them? You know, being immutable doesn't mean a tuple is just some static, boring object. You can absolutely still perform operations on them. The crucial difference is that these operations will never, ever change the original tuple. Instead, they always return a brand new one. And this immutability comes with a fantastic bonus: performance. See, because Python knows a tuple's size and contents will never change, it can be way more efficient with memory, and operations on it are often much, much faster. Two of the most common things you'll do are concatenation and repetition. Concatenation, which just uses the plus sign, lets you join two tuples together to create a new longer one. And repetition, using that little asterisk, lets you create a new tuple by repeating the elements of an old one. Now this is the key takeaway here. Look at what's happening. Our original tuple, T1, is completely untouched. It's still just 1, 2. What we're seeing here are brand new tuples being created as a result of our operations. That's immutability in action. It preserves the integrity of your original data. All right, let's bring it all home. With all this information, when you're actually sitting there writing your code, how do you make the choice? Let's put them side by side for the final showdown. So on one side, you have the list. Its defining feature is that it's mutable. You use the square brackets, and its whole reason for being is to hold a collection of items that you fully expect to modify over time. And on the other side, you've got the tuple. It's immutable, you use parentheses, and its job is to store a collection of items that you believe should never change. This guarantees your data is safe, and as that nice bonus, you get a significant performance boost because it's lighter and faster for Python to handle. It really all boils down to that classic piece of programming wisdom, doesn't it? Your choice completely depends on your intent. You just have to ask yourself, is this a collection that needs to change, like a list of users currently in a chat room? Or is this data that has to stay constant and could benefit from being faster, like the days of the week? So now, with this solid grasp on mutability, you're not just choosing syntax, you're equipped to make more deliberate, professional choices in your code. And that's going to lead to programs that are safer, more predictable, and very often a whole lot faster. Thanks for watching and happy coding.